Hello everybody, and welcome! We're going to be playing some 7 Billion Humans today. 7 Billion Humans is a puzzle-style game, and you use sort of the block programming idea in order to navigate through the puzzle and get to the solution. So, you know, rather than actually physically typing out program codes, it gives you the little command via block, and you just position the blocks a certain way in order to solve it. So, chat. Together, you and I, both human, will work together to solve these puzzles. This is made by the Little Inferno devs, wasn't it? Yes, it is. And so, I grab my employee ID. These are the different appearances that I can have. I like the green old lady here. It's me. The photo, this is, you've seen me, chat, on the Friday streams. This is exactly what I look like. Alright, I'm grabbing my badge. Thank you, robot sir. I head in. Chat, we're working together. This is an exceptional stream where you are allowed to backseat. Again, not backseating to the point of giving straight solutions, but backseating in the way of, like, we're working together to solve the puzzle. Alright, chat, we're hired.
Hey, you! Are you a hard-working farmer? Let machines do that for you. Are you a hard-working coal miner, truck driver, or coffee shop employee? Let machines do that for you.
Ta-da! We don't need humans doing jobs anymore. Look at that, he just became a coffee maker.
Tastes like progress.
But aren't there any good jobs left for hardworking families like us?
You'll never need to work again. Machines have
no more
provided
jobs.
Unlimited free energy. Unlimited fast, clean transportation.
Don't need any of it.
Unlimited free, nutritious food.
Boom, just blow up the cow and eat the
Completely
steak.
free to do whatever you want. A marvelous modern
What?
utopia.
Hang on, there's a coffee cup continent. Oh man, but here's all of the humans complaining about not having work.
You want jobs? You will have jobs. They will be the best jobs. Huge. Believe me, you have never seen so many jobs.
Where can we get these jobs?
We need
show
the
up
jobs,
on Monday.
chat.
The machines have created
How are we
enough
supposed to do
for
jobs
every
if they don't
single person
exist?
on the planet and the whole family to enjoy.
I have a PhD in medieval French literature.
Don't
Even the
worry,
most
we'll have a
useless
job for
skills
you.
Can be put to work in the new office building visible from space.
Here it is, chat.
Congratulations, all
This is where 7 billion humans are going to go to work now.
You're hired.
We're hired, chat. And yes, this is the same dev as Little Inferno. Alright, chat. This is our new job. We work here with 7 billion other humans. That work building might go up into space. I'm not entirely sure. Right now, we're down here at the bottom. So, we need to head in here. They're welcoming the new employees. That's us. Let's go. You're late. Everyone is already here. They're just standing. Blinking. Waiting for your instructions. Our instructions, chat. This isn't about just you anymore. You're the boss of all these workers. What? But I just got hired. They will do whatever you say. So let's see how fit this workforce is. Please just have everyone pick up their individual green data cube. And drop it again. Let's see those little arms put to good use. Yes, there's nothing like an early success to inspire confidence. It's not just me who's the boss, Dag. It's you too, because we together are working together. Solve these puzzles, and again, emphasis on working together. It's all about the work. We've all got the jobs together. That's right. We are Caco's brain, she's doomed. Not just, oh no, programming, I can't do this, don't worry. That's why we're working as a team, see? So, tell your workers to step down one tile. Alright, good, got it. Pick up their green data cube. Alright, that's gonna be the pickup command. And then drop it again. Got it. Game's giving me very explicit instructions to what to do for this round. There we are. Chat. We did it. We completed the first assignment. I think we're all gonna get raises after this. Everybody in chat, $1 more an hour. Yes, stunning work, everyone. These workers are clearly experts at picking up and putting down again. Picking up stuff and putting it back down again. And we're experts at telling them to do so, eh? We continue up to the next floor. Which, by the way, goes into a whole other year. We spent a year telling them to pick up those data cubes. And now we're going to spend another year to teach them to do something else. Hey, you guys up there. That line of data cubes is too far away to read. Please tell the workers to move the entire line of data cubes down by 2 tiles. Just sit it right there between those nice potted plants so we can see it a little bit easier. These glasses aren't just for looking handsome, you know. Heh, there's a 69 data cube. Nice. Alright, so we're going to move the line of data cubes down by 2 tiles. So that means we need to go down, pick up, and then we'll step down 2 tiles. See, 1, 2, and then we will drop them again. Man, our boss sucks. It's been a full year and we haven't gotten a single break. But you got a raise. That's more like it. Like icons on a desktop, deliberate positioning is everything. And I suppose you really need to complain to the robot bosses about not getting breaks. It's not really on me. Long distance delivery. Right, year 4. I just read a book on mindfulness meditation. So important. I'll let you borrow it later. I would like to completely clear my mind and also the room. All data cubes and workers must be cleared away so I can concentrate. Workers, please pick up the data cube next to you. And just keep walking until you exit the room through one of those convenient holes over on the right side. What's at the bottom of those infinite holes? That's a very good question to think about while meditating. Well, you gotta know commands. Jump! No, your workers will not actually jump up into the air. This is not one of those games. This isn't a platformer, chat, so we don't need to jump. Here, this will tell you all about it. Clear the room. All workers and data cubes must fall into the infinite pits. New command, jump. Use this jump command. Use this command to jump to different lines in your list of commands. You might use this to repeat sections of your program, so you do not need to write the same commands over and over. And then we can also learn about the commands, like so. Jump to a new location within your program. You can jump backward to create loops, or jump forward to skip entire sections. The possibilities are endless. I don't know about endless possibilities. There might be kind of restricted, but we're going to step 1 to the right, pick up the cube, and then we're going to step to the right a whole bunch, and do so without putting a million step rights. We're going to just use the jump command. And so, you can see just jumping back and forth as we complete our program. I am an ocean. I am an autumn forest. I am a sunset. I am. We're hungry. Time for a lunch break. Woo! Anyone want to get lunch? Anyone? Oh. Oh, and you gotta head off now, Finisar. Well, thanks for coming by to watch for a little bit. There is a robot among us. You say that, Spud, as if it is a, joke. Referring to Among Us. But I mean, we already saw that we're ruled by robots, so Speaking of void holes, I've been squeezing my brain for an emote idea, but I'm not active enough to think of anything super relevant. That's okay if you mean an emote idea here for the BTTV one. Yes, you got until tomorrow. You don't even have to come up with an idea if someone else in chat does, because then all you have to do is vote for other people's ideas. Let's all ask ourselves a little question. Would you prefer an instant shrieking, splattering doom, or going to a really fun office birthday party? I don't know. The shrieking doom option does mean I don't have to interact with anybody. But the fun office birthday party, there would probably be some cake provided, And cake is pretty good. Well, now you have a new command to help you decide. Everybody, let's all take a look to our left and to our right. On one side, you have a nice data cube illuminating the way toward the office party, and on the other side, you have Eternal Doom. Use your new if command to locate which side has the data cube and continue walking in the direction until you fall in the nice safe hole that will take you to the office party. Choose wisely. I'll see you there. Did someone say cake? Why, yes, I did, because office birthday party. That means there's going to be cake provided. Welcome, reanimated bit, to the cake stream. Alright, so now we want if there is a data cube, we check it, because it's all swapping which side it's on. If there is a data cube on the left, then we will take a step to the left, pick up the data cube, and then continue stepping to the left. However, if there is not a data cube to the left, we will step to the right, pick up the data cube there, and then continue stepping to the right. And so completes that set of the program. Yes, congratulations! This was truly a feat of engineering. I'm not feeling like attending the party, but you guys have fun. What? Was that an option? This game has a pretty cool way of using programming type principles as a game mechanic. That's what I thought too. It's not like I've done real proper programming. I have looked at code before and have made minor tweaks for job purposes in the past. But nothing wild. The closest I get otherwise, personally, is writing formulas in Excel or Google Sheets. Oh man, this is super neat. But I don't understand programming anything, but I like it. Look, you kind of understand programming, at least the general concept of it, from doing this. I'm learning programming. In fact, I already solved this assignment for you. Well, sort of. The worker is supposed to go pick up that cube down below without falling in the holes. but something's wrong, so I'll allow you to fix it for me. Let's watch what happens together. Right, Granny walks, continues to walk, and then falls. So we can step forward slowly through his program to see where it goes wrong. You hate programming, Spud? Well, I'm gonna have to remove you from chat then. Because you're not allowed to hate programming around here. It's a programming stream. Alright, so we can see here she's gotten in on the loop where she's continuing to walk to the right. But when she hits this point, when she's going to walk down, we don't want her to walk down first. An easy way to kind of... There's always going to be multiple ways to adjust these. But a simple method of fixing what he has is just kind of sticking this step and telling her to go to the left when she gets out of the loop. I think I've actually accidentally... No, I did set in the right place. There we go. Okay. See? There we are. I solved it in one change. So did... That means we all solved it in one change, because we obviously worked together to do so. I did some pretty complicated programming in Little Big Planet and Dreams. Ooh, fancy. In the gaming realms. I failed programming 1 in high school. Oh. Well, just don't tell anyone. They don't have to know. Shh. Oh, this place is a mess. The engineers left data all over the floor. Look at that. It's terrible. These people have no appreciation for style or art. Okay, let's pick up all the data cubes and organize them into a nice line along the bottom row. Right between those useful arrows. But watch out for that infinite hole. What? How can you know where data cubes are? Or where infinite holes are? Well, it says here, remember your if command will illuminate the world around you. People say the world around me is a haze of confusion. Organize the data cubes into a nice line along the bottom row between the 2 arrows. And now we have comments. Use them to help organize your programs or draw pictures of kits. So use comments to leave helpful notes for yourself within your program. Does not affect your program in any way other than making it easier for you to read. Just like real programming. Things like this just flip some sort of safety switch that prevents my brain from actually short-circuiting. Logic is too rigid. Oh, well, Frosty, you can just take a nice seat back and, you know, you don't have to actually think of any solutions. And hello there, kitty, and welcome. Oh. We can draw pictures of cats in here. Okay. We now have a cat friend to help us out as we work through this program. Which, you know, it's pretty interesting timing that Kitty has come along at the same time that we are drawing pictures of cats. Okay. So really what we want them to do is walk down until they hit a green data cube, pick it up, and then continue walking down until they hit the empty void. So, I guess then what we would want is, if the area below us is nothing, then walk down. Otherwise, pick up, so when they hit... we really want to check when they're on top of it, if where they're standing currently is nothing, then walk down. That way when they actually walk on top of the data cube, they will stop. And then next, we would want them to continue walking down, but we want to do another check. So can we check for a hole? We can check for a hole. If a hole is not equal to down below, then walk down. Otherwise, drop. Let's test that. Read the instructions carefully. Organize the data cubes into a nice line along the bottom row. I probably have to stick loop in here, right? So it's not just going to continuously loop that automatically. Yeah, it just automatically, instantly jumps down. We want to stick jump up in here. Oh, they just walk around? Hang on. I guess they get caught up in the program. Hang on. Yeah, I think they get accidentally stuck. Draw me, Spud Medusa. Can I edit my comment? Okay, that's Spud Medusa down there in the corner. We check below us, would that work? Oh. Let's see how. Oh, okay, just drag that out. Stop, I don't want you, go away. Okay. Alright, well I believe it is the spot where we want the drop. Stop, there we go. Is outside right here, looped around like that. Except I adjusted the program earlier to check below them, and that's not what I want. I want to change that properly, and there we go. And now they have nicely arranged it. So I need to stick the jump so it's outside of the if, so they don't get trapped inside. Wow, now we're living dangerously. Really, on the edge. Okay, finally figuring out how coding works. I feel silly now. The concept is easy, but the process is hard. And then the more complicated you get in logic and what you want your outcome to be is really where the programming gets wild. Haha. There we go, chat. We have completed year 7. We continue up the elevator, and we're gonna end up having a split right here. This dynamic angles. What does it mean? Oh, what? Phase 2? 4 memory spots? Oh my god. Okay. Intro to morale officers, huh? Year 8. Oh, cutscene.
Congratulations. You're doing great.
I cannot believe how great you're doing.
As your employee morale officers,
We are here to offer occasional tips on how to keep your workers feeling delighted.
for example,
Come on up, Jeff.
Oh, hi, Jeff.
we find that workers appreciate an occasional confirmation of a job well done,
You might say, congratulations, you're doing great.
followed by a gentle but firm pat on the rear.
Oh. I don't know if he liked that one.
I was a refrigerator.
Good work, everyone.
You know how many salads wilted inside me?
With enough teamwork and engineering, even a kitchen appliance can become a mid-level office manager.
Waved.
We're not just building data solutions.
We're building a family.
Oh. Chat. That means if we're working together to do this, we're becoming a family. What's wrong with Jeff? He looks like a meat puppet? That's how all humans look, Spud. Come on. I don't understand any of this. That's okay, Baldir. If you're not able to, help participate, provide possible solutions, you don't have to. You can just sit there and be part of the family. That's right, see, Luna's so happy. You're part of the family too now, Luna. Everybody. We're already a family. We're gonna be living in a house and or jail together. Woohoo, hey! Now here we are at dynamic angles. Wow, that was a good cup of coffee. Oh, who wants to do something crazy? See that nice, steady, straight, horizontal line of data cubes? Let's be wild and turn it into a diagonal line. Haha, this is really good. Leave that first data cube where it is, and make that line descend like a staircase. Haha! Data displayed at a 45-degree angle. Who ever heard of such a thing? Whoa. This programming is no match for the power of family. By the way, has Sick Gang grown in the numbers the past few weeks? It has. More figures are now in the sitting position as people have subscribed and as I have continued, tagging them. I'm like that uncle that doesn't really say anything meaningful at the get-together, just talks about the weather and such. That's alright, Egg. You can join the group of uncles and aunts over there who are just nodding as all of the children are all playing together, or the adults over there having their own very meaningful conversation. You're over there nodding to each other going, ah yes, the weather, Make a diagonal line with the data cubes. The data cube with no worker above it must remain where it is. Note from management. From this point on, we will provide optional size and speed challenges. You can always ask the boss for more information. They are often very difficult, so let's not stress out too much about them. So it has it phrased as make a diagonal line with the data cubes. The data cube with no worker above it must remain where it is. I see. So it's just commenting on this cube right here. So really what we would want to do is, of course, start by stepping down and picking up a cube so everybody has a cube in their hands. So now what we would then want to do is check if there is a data cube to the left. So if, say, they were standing right here, what we're going to start... Okay, there's two cases that we want to keep in mind here also, is when they step down and pick up a data cube. Right now, really, everybody has a data cube to their left. So we want to have them walk until there's no data cube. So if there is a data cube to the left, we want to step down. We'll probably want to repeat that really again until there's no data cube to the left. Otherwise, drop, right? Ah, she throws it off right there. I guess when they're holding one, it doesn't quite count. Can we check for a worker? We can also check for workers. I wish there then was an OR command. So we can do a secondary check then. Perhaps. Or we say if there's a worker to the left, then step down. Otherwise, drop. Yeah, that fucks it up a bit. But hey, look, it worked with everybody else over here. Almost getting the walk. If data cube is equal to 69, then execute eyebrow wiggle. Perfect. Something should work instead, right? Is there just a general something option? There is something. So instead of having a data cube, if there is something to the left, then we want to kind of remove all of those. And we'll try that then. Ah, see, and there we go. I overlooked the specific something, so see, there we go. Chat and I, we work together as family to complete the puzzle. And hello there, Bleepy. Welcome. You did it! Oh no, what have we done? Is he upset? Oh, apparently you can complete the puzzle using only 5 commands. So we didn't get that because we used 7. However, we did it pretty quick, completing 6 or fewer seconds, averaged over 25 random tests. We got an average of 5 seconds, chat. Oh, completed. And look, now, oh, I see then too. If you observe on the left side, all of the other previous floors, I think they all have these special challenges then. It just, since we weren't looking at them at these earlier spots, we don't know how to complete those ones. We don't know what they were requiring. Time to 100% all of them? Oh no. I wonder if part of the reason they are branching off like this is to teach us something on this little left branch, and then going along the right would then have us, you know, progress through the game normally. Let's go ahead and we'll go with, wait. This does say 10-11. I, looking at number, must continue number trend. I go to the right, to the emergency escapades. I wonder if it's like Baba where they have the harder side levels. Might be the case. And it seems this one is probably going to be number related, seeing as before we were seeing just random numbers on cube. However, this time I'm just seeing 1, 3, 4, and 2s. I remember some schools had a fun test where the teacher would tell the students to instruct me to make toast. He would follow every step they would say and follow it perfectly. But this ended up with a teacher being told to grab the knife and then grab the butter, but they would never tell him to put down anything, so they would just end up picking up more and more stuff until it was impossible to make toast. It is actually a really good lesson in showing how robots think. Yeah, because, that is also then a case of building AI to where the robot can just AI fill in the gaps. Because otherwise, if you are literally taking instructions and you don't have any sort of contextual application to those cases, like grab the knife, grab the butter, naturally you would think put down knife to grab the butter. But if you're thinking of it completely literally, you don't have that. Being a hardcore literal is always fun. Then you can have wacky antics, too. I just received a fax. You are experiencing impressive, stunning fanfare. Oh, that's nice. Oops, I mean imminent structural failure. Hang on, that's very different. Yes, it appears this room is collapsing, and we have to exit immediately. Oh no. Okay, let's keep reading. One of the holes in this room here has a nice fluffy exit chute below it. And you will be carried to safety in the strong, handsome arms of our rescue squad. Ooh. The rescue squad? Chat. Just as he kind of implies in what he's saying here, in the strong, handsome arms of our rescue squad. I haven't seen them myself, but I have heard too that they're supposed to be very handsome, very strong. Imagine falling down, landing on the pillow, and then one of those One of the strong hats rescue guys comes over and picks you up in their strong, powerful arms. Oh, heck. Oh, jeez. Who wrote this? All other holes lead to painful, splattering doom. To find your way, just follow the instructions over there. Okay, so we find your way to the emergency exit. First, make your way towards any data cube. Then, if the cube you are on says one of these things, then follow this instruction. So, we need to then set up a logical loop here. If what we are on is 1, then step up. Else, if what we are on says 2, then we will step to the right. Or if what we are on says 3, we will step down. And finally, if what we are on is 4, then we will step to the left. And then we'll go ahead and put a jump command down there at the bottom to just loop that entire thing. Though we actually have to begin with them walking to the left. Because we don't have a case for them standing on nothing at the moment. So let's see. We'll have to restart. Is there a not equal to command in the if? Not right now. And if what we are standing on is nothing, then we'll step to the left. I don't know if that will be a problem, or if they will, because you can see how these all chain perfectly together here. So hopefully they will only continue walking to the left. Should probably have stuck that at the top. Let's go ahead and speed this up as they all slowly get into their line, and they take this large repetition. You can see the guys at the end getting a little bit slow. Less than, greater than could probably trim some of that fat off. Likely. This is a pretty straightforward way to construct it, though. They don't know how to move. No, they were confused at the very start. You didn't tell them what to do if there's nothing there. They don't get it. Good work, everyone. Okay, now it's my turn. Help? I don't know how to program. I'm just a manager. Rescue squad. Oh, and hello there, Ant, and welcome to the stream. So you can note how this says use 9 or fewer commands. We used 15. We also did it way longer than what their average took, or than what the target was. Target, 25 seconds. We took 165, so there's certainly a faster way to get through this. Probably in particular, I don't know if they force you to have to use those steps to exit, but I don't want to hit back just so I can look at it here. Because you can observe how there's these empty spaces, you could probably get it then to write a little program, so instead of following the numbered path, they just take shortcuts and go, hey, there's this little gap here, walk along that, and then walk up right here, and then exit. So perhaps instead of, say, checking the number tiles you're on, you check around to see if there are tiles you're able to walk on, and then walk if there are, perhaps. But we have solved this. I'm not sure, can we just, we might have to play through it again in order to complete the level, maybe? Yeah, I think we might have to just have them walk through the puzzle again. Regardless. We'll now go back to the elevator. I like the chain though. I do too. It's pretty fun to watch him walk through like that. And now we continue to the elevator. See, and now we take a turn, and we're going to go ahead, at least for this case. I don't know if we'll do it every time there's these branching paths, but since this one's number 11, I at least want to see the first set. So here we go, chat. Injection Sites 1. Important data cubes from management. I put them down there in the floor in those horizontal lines. Most of them, anyway. I kinda zoned out. Would you guys fill in the missing data in each line? That's why it's called injection sites, is because we're sticking a piece of data in each of them. Just put those data cubes wherever they fit. Order doesn't matter. I think there should be one empty slot below each of you. Yeah, you can see 15 here. So all they have to do is walk directly down until they're able to play something. But as long as those horizontal lines appear complete, I'm sure no one will complain. Again, I think about how I wish there was an AND command. Because right now we don't have an or AND statement. So I can only have to kind of make nested ifs almost. I think this one's not too bad. I don't think it is too bad either. Yeah, I didn't realize they were all lined up. It is the case, it seems. Sometimes, you know, you get that initial view and go, oh, now this looks like it's going to be wild. And then it's actually fairly straightforward. So, pro tip for management. Click that little button on the right side of if command if you want to test multiple things. Oh, hang on. As I was commenting about and or, it's right there. So you are able to do an and or statement. So that's useful. So first we're going to start just stepping down, picking up that cube. And I'm going to go ahead and just start with setting up the check for when to drop the cube. So if below, really we want to check where we're standing. So if where we're standing is nothing, and to the left of us is a data cube, that means we are then going to drop what we have right here. I wonder if you could even, it'd be kind of neat if at the front you could have a not statement. This is not. I guess then you can just kind of swap these around, but then you have to be careful about having your and or statements, which ones you're using. Just wonder how small you can make the command line. There is a not equals now. I think there was already a not equals prior. I remember using it in one of those other cases. So that is something else we can do too. Let's think, because we want them to walk downwards repeatedly. But we want them to stop when this is true. Perhaps we could loop it like that. They just walk down until they hit that. And, I mean, then they're going to continue to walk afterwards, but it doesn't tell us that we have to stop walking, so I just leave them walking forever. So I did not do it as fast as we're able, or as with as few commands as possible, and we did not get it super fast either. However, we did still complete it. So, there's that. Hey. Now the next one is 13, but I kind of want to try this also. Oh, a little bit more complicated, say. Oops. Okay, let's not panic. It happened again. Management sent some very important data cubes, and I put most of them down there on the floor. But I think I missed a few spots. I mean, you're not the most attentive listener either. Kinda nodding along, hoping I'll stop talking soon. I know, this is our life together now, so just grab all those data cubes over there and fill in those horizontal lines however you like. I didn't organize them for you this time, but I'm sure you can figure out how to identify where they go. Well, since we only have zeros, we just have to fill the gaps in each row. So we have to have our people here figure out how to walk somewhere in order to get to these spaces. What makes this one a little bit more complicated. I'm kind of putting down these options real quick just to see if there's other cases. No, and what options do we have for if? We can have if as being an equal to, not equal to, and then the greater than, less than cases. And now our other checks are direction, something, nothing, numbers, data cube, worker, hole, or wall. If right is equal to left. I wonder how you could construct, how direction would be used later on. Like you can also use diagonals. We haven't used any diagonals yet. I don't think... We haven't had our employees walk in any diagonals either so far. And since this one is at least a little bit more complicated, since these side routes aren't required, we're going to just continue along with the story. It's not that I don't think we could solve that, because if I thought we wouldn't be able to solve that, I'd be a little bit concerned about making it the rest of the way through this game. But we gotta focus on story progression now. Probably we'll try out the initial steps here on some of them, maybe, I don't know. But let's continue along up the building, the corporate offices. I wonder if you can do a paradox and the scenario just never ends. I mean, that is essentially how you can use the jump function if you put absolutely nothing there and just had it loop the step. That'd be kind of like the case, right? That's what I thought the first injection site was gonna be, and it wasn't. It was pretty straightforward, because that one was just learning. And then it's the second one where it challenges you a bit more. Let's unzip this line of data. Move the leftmost data cube up, then move the next data cube in the line down. Next one up, next one down. You know, like unzipping a zipper. Here, I've already started this solution for you. You're welcome. I like his little notes that he's put in. That should say sucks, just pretend it does. Wait, did I use up all my ink? It's not letting me write anymore. Well... It should... Yeah, it does look more like it says suck. It should say sus. I look at you, Mimi, and I just shake my head. So, what he has currently is pick up below, and if to the left is a wall, then step up, drop. If we just straight play where we're at, I was honestly expecting sus 2. If there's something I am not going to do, personally, is make Among Us jokes, I will read them from chat, I will not make them myself. And this is why it starts us off this way, is so it can kind of initially move us. So that then maybe she could check if there's something there. Or actually she could check a diagonal. We kind of want double cases so we can try to get everybody to move at the same time, you know? So if to the left there's a wall, and if we had him check to the right for a wall, we would only have our two guys on each side move, and that's not quite what we want to do. I kind of want to base it more off this next person, I think. If left is equal to right, scream, smile. Every day I come closer to blacklisting all terms related to Among Us. Skelly, the hero that chat needs, but they don't want. I'm trying to decide how this would best be phrased then. To the left is wall. And step up. So if we're checking to the right, it really apply to every other person. Not really sure why he has to have this 888 here like this. I don't know. Okay, so if we just check perhaps to the right. All right. So how can we phrase this? If we've got a wall to the left, he walks up. Everybody stays where they're at. And where to move the leftmost data cube one tile up, move the next data cube one tile down. Next up, blah, 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 blah. Were we just wanting to instantly drop it? I guess we only are caring to move them a singular space. It looks like. What if we had just to kind of test out what happens? If there is a worker diagonal up from you, then step down and drop. What do they do then? Just to see what'll happen. And hello there, TV. Welcome. We got one worker is stepping correctly. But this would be a whole lot of checking if we were doing it on diagonals. So not really the ideal solution here. So perhaps if we kind of work from just left to right, you know, as they kind of describe it as like a zipper, rather than it all maybe occurring at one time, we'll think of it, again, as a zipper, where it kind of goes from left to right happening, rather again than all at once. So, if there is nothing to the left right here, then step down and drop. Else step up and drop. Let's see how that goes. Oh, then it makes everybody move at the same time. I guess that does make sense because then everybody else would be moving there. You could change the first if statement to have an or as well to test if there's a cube in the bottom left. That's not a bad idea. If there is a wall to the left, if we're checking if there's a cube in the bottom left, so or a cube in the bottom left, then do this. I'm gonna keep my one that I had here, and we'll just, that way we can just kind of see what happens. We still have that case there, so maybe I'll get rid of that. I'm just gonna throw a loop down here. Just as a test. Oh. I kind of like watching them go through like this. As they just all happily take a step down. It's like a wave, but in slow-mo. Let's see, really what we want them... I think we can do that diagonal check again. If there is someone there, then step down and drop. Else step up and drop. Whoop. Not holding anything. Oh no. Because then it makes everybody work or walk instantly, which isn't really what we want. They are the creepiest looking cheerleading squad I've ever seen. What? Just look into their eyes. They're ready to cheer you on. Hello there, Mrs. Medieval, and welcome. So you want them to alternate between going up and down? Yes. Is there a way to make them check the bottom left diagonal to move up? Well, we can't have them check multiple at the same time. So if we have a worker is up, then step down, where we could also then have a, say, check. Isn't quite where we want it, but we do want something like that. Oop. I want to get rid of this. We want to get rid of that line. There we go. Maybe the initial pickup should be an if and or. We could have them wait on picking up, certainly. So rather than instantly pick up the data cube, only pick it up. Because then that would force the kind of delay. Oops. Forgot to mute my phone. This is... I feel like I'm just getting taught... I need to slow down, perhaps, and kind of think through things more. And hello there, Matogi, and welcome. There is a large number of humans, so this is a large number of human stream. Okay. So, let's go ahead and perhaps just think a little bit more critically here. If we're going to go ahead and just go ahead on focus upon making them kind of do things a step at a time, where everybody picks something up, and one person stops and goes, okay, I right here, I'm going to step up. Everybody else... Because she goes into this grouping, everybody else instantly starts stepping up, and we don't want them to do that. So, at this step-up stage, we want to do another check. Wonder if we can have it start a particular spot. So, if they were all standing here... What if we did an if there is a worker there? Then step up. Not quite. Let's start just walking through this a little bit slow. So then they go, okay, worker is here. Then it kind of forces, because since it's just this one guy on the far left checking it, the real puzzle is there's no door to the room. Of course there isn't. Can't leave. Everybody either gets to drop down through the void to land down further, lower in the tower. Otherwise, you're stuck on the floor you're on. We don't have any windows either for a reason. We can't have people escaping. Even though they all wanted this job. Our ship? Ryan? Oh my god, they have names? Look guys, it's Gustavo! I love Gustavo! Oh, what a pal! I guess then you're able to see where exactly they're at in the different process chain. Maybe after the initial left check, everyone else should be checking right. That might be good to do also. We can also have everybody maybe check directly to the left to see if there's nothing there. If there's a worker down and there's nothing to the left. Then they get kind of stuck in the wrong loop. So we're checking things a little bit incorrectly. Because what ends up happening is that everybody, it's not zippering like working from left to right. It's kind of, we keep checking it. For everything. Like if we had an else after this statement, if there is nothing... The step if outside of the if, so it's just doing the step instead of checking. That step if outside of the if. You mean this one? Or do you mean this step if? Hang on. Sorry, that step is outside of the if. Yeah, cause, oh, like, you mean put it here instead? Yeah. So then we step up, else we step down. I think that's maybe what you're referring to, and that's where we're getting thrown off, is that I forgot to just properly close that out. I did one step at a time. Hang on. Okay. So they start going through. He drops his cube. Step up, drop. You know what we could also do is say have her instantly drop something down too. Maybe have it go a little bit slower, and if I'm holding something still, then do this. Otherwise, do nothing. Now it's doing the check before it runs the step. I'm accidentally having the pieces in the wrong order. We could maybe, you know, start from scratch and process these commands a little bit more slowly. Stop, stop. I swear I tell them to do one step and then they keep looping. Since it is going left to right, it always checks left, but it loops stepping up and down somehow until a wall check on the right. That might be weird. I think maybe even the jump I have here is weird. Maybe we don't want to jump all the way up to the top. Do a jump lower down. Since we don't really need to repeat this step here. if it's really being used for him. Okay, so here we are. He's stepping up. Everybody else is checking the diagonal. No diagonal currently, but now we are checking a diagonal. She hits that. So she steps down. And everybody else is checking down, too. And they're getting caught on this loop right here. So I think we want an else if there. I like this guy's gotten stuck now, too. We want him to drop his cube. And then I guess we want another if statement here at this step. Perhaps what we want is to not have a jump command. Maybe we want to ditch the jump. I guess, though, we do need the jump to have them re-loop through the if command checks. Though, on the other hand, that means we could pull out the jump temporarily to have them check. Here we are so low down in the tower, and already it's getting all stuck in this logic loop. I grabbed my brain. Alright, I'm thinking now and getting distracted because my mind is now going to, I need to go to the bathroom. So, reflect on this, chat. You, humans over there, think about it while I wander on over to the bathroom and I'll think there. I'll be right back. Will the solution for this level be easy to find? 15? It seems it is easy. And I did have a thought here where, while I was going to the bathroom. And as was kind of mentioned earlier, one, we seem to be getting messed up, broken down here, firstly. And secondly, how we should maybe, you know, just restart all of this. And I agree with that sentiment. We're going to restart. And what I'm going to do is make an or statement. If there is a wall here. Because really, if you think about how everybody else is standing, we are checking two things. If there is a wall, he steps up. If there is nothing here, or if there is a person still here, we don't want to check person right away, though. So, if there is a wall here, okay, I'm kind of thinking, okay, let me just pause, because what we really want to do is have a sort of case of, if this or this, then walk up, otherwise walk down. So, if there is a wall, maybe I could, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Undo. Ooh. I just erased the entirety of the program on accident, and it's not even giving us a, reset option. Well, let's go back and re-enter. Didn't mean to do that. Oh no. All I really understand from the hint is that everyone seems to be able to function from the else command down there somehow. So I seem to have managed to completely eliminate the initial program setup. Okay, wait. It's back. We're good now, chat. The hint is not gone forever. It has been restored. Hello there, hint. Welcome back. Glad to see you again. We also have a new person on the left, who apparently has been here before, though. So, if there is a wall... If wall, step up... if wall, step up. If person top left, diagonal, step down. I think I had that. Or if I maybe need to check... two cases. If... else, if there is a person that is diagonal, up. Step down, drop. I think we might then put another else. Okay, everybody picks up. She's walking up. They're all checking diagonal. She sees that there's person there now, so she walks down. So she's dropping. Everybody else is down here. Could we then right away go, hey, if there's a person to your lower left, step up? Alright, that should be lower left, then step up. Drop. Oh, I think I have an idea. Alright, well, think about how to phrase it then. We'll see how it goes. I think maybe this might work here if we then jump loop this. Wait, okay, yep, there we go. Didn't get it, you know? Oh, we did hit their speed challenge and get the average at least, though, so hey, chat, that ain't bad. I don't think we'll probably ever get this top size challenge on the first run, but getting the speed side of it is, there we go. See, at the very least, yeah, resetting it was the way to go. We continue up the elevator, chat. Nice job. I high-five chat. Boink. Yahoo! Professional speed programmer. Yeah, definitely. Now let me introduce you to something very dear to my heart. Shredders. They shred anything dropped inside. Anything. I look closely at the people. Guess that includes them too. Looking at green girl that has no data cube beneath her and she could just walk right into the shredder. Please shred. Ooh, yeah, I apologize for my behavior. Shredding just gets me unseasonably excited. Ooh. Okay, yes. Are we ready to concentrate? Everyone, please shred your data cube. Now we feed the shredders the meat they crave. Gray says, recalling last night during stream and how we threw had that meat shredder then. What? Not everyone got a data cube? Well, life is never fair, is it? Give to? That's new. Oh, I see, because then it's a give to treasure. Make a worker give the item their hands to something else like a shredder or another worker. So we're going to want everybody, of course, to just start by stepping down and picking up. I don't know if we need an if check or if she's just gonna go, oh, there's nothing to pick up. Oh. Or what exactly? Okay, so step down, pick up. And we'll step down twice. And then could we just give to below? I don't know what's going to happen with her. This is sort of a test to see what'll happen there. She might stumble into the shredder, potentially. In which case we'll do a little if command for her to say, if there is nothing below you, then do nothing. Oh, yep, so she gives herself. Alright, so if you have a give to command, but you're not holding anything, the give to applies to the person itself. Did everyone survive our first day with shredders? No. Yeah, surviving is technically not a strict requirement, as long as the work gets done. Chat, it's okay, we finished it anyway. I feel like that was probably intentional to get you to shred one of your people so you realize, oh, if they're not holding anything, they will try to give themselves to the thing. Alright, here we go now with shred lines. I think we can all agree. Shredding just one data cube was not enough. Yes, I understand your burning desire for more things to shred. Yes, you are welcome. We can't have data cubes scattered about like some sort of freewheeling tech company. Shred all the cubes. You also got a new command, end. Use end to tell a worker when they are finished and can end their program. You're never required to use end, but it can be helpful. You know, after they shred 3 data cubes, that way they end their program so they don't just shred themselves afterwards. Alright, so we'll begin going ahead with maybe doing an if there is nothing where you are at, then step up. Okay, so if there's nothing where you are at, step up. Else, if there is a data cube where you are standing, pick up and step down, and we kind of want to loop this a couple of times. Something I like, I'm thinking in terms of Excel formulas here, which, you know, you could probably apply to programming, but since I don't do programming, I do Excel formulas. When I come across problems I want to solve, I always get a little bit stuck up front because I start thinking of the different ways I can solve the same problem. So now I can only say, that's gonna happen here too, as I go, hang on, there's different ways we can work through this. How do I want to approach and address this problem? So, Chet, we continue on. So if they're standing on nothing, now, it can kind of have 2 cases. Can a worker check to see if they are holding a cube, or can it only be things around the worker? Well, I think you could have it say if there is something where you are, like, there's different options here. And since you can check your own space you're on, you can maybe say, check if you're holding a data cube, or like, if you check if there's a data cube where you're at, that might count. So, maybe we can... Would they keep stepping down if they are holding a cube? I mean, yeah, which is something else that we want to check too. Because there's kind of different ways we can have them walk around. Let's reset this. So. I wonder then if we can have them check if there is nothing where they are at. Essentially, you know, they're not holding anything. If there's nothing, we will step up. And if there is a data cube, we kind of want to do almost 2 checks where, you know, when they're first initially getting the data cube versus when they're holding it. We can also check if there's a shredder below them, and when they hit shredder below them, they give 2, and then after they do that, they swap to going up, so they kind of exit the program afterwards. So if there is a data cube below them, we'll have them pick it up. And then that would be exiting the program at that point. So that way they can maybe loop up here. So they would go just continuously walk up if there's nothing below them. And then the second they hit something below them, a data cube, they then exit the program, picking it up, and are outside of that if, so we now want a new if setup. I guess, though, we have this else down here that it's wanting to finish off first. I guess we are exiting out right here. I'm just gonna call that exit right there. Else exit. Okay, so then if they have picked up the data cube at this point, if there is a shredder below them, then we would want to give it a data cube. This one to keep in mind, because we're going to have them start stepping down as well. So if there is a shredder below them, and there is something below them, like, you know, it's checking their hands to see if there is a data cube in their hands. So, else step down. So, okay, let's go ahead and start from the top here. Shredder and holding a data cube. Yep, I'm going to assume that that is hopefully... Maybe we should check for, yeah, specifically a data cube and not something, because otherwise they might count themselves as something, in which case they would throw themselves into the shredder, and we don't want that. So if we go up to the top, they check. Is there nothing here? Alright. No, because I don't think that would apply to them. The nothing doesn't count themselves. Because otherwise, when we checked nothing before for picking up data cube, it wouldn't work. So, if there's nothing below them, step up. So continuously walk up. And then when they hit the data cube, they pick it up. And then they should exit the program at that point. I'm gonna just roll to see what happens here. You could probably loop the whole program instead of having another move at the bottom. That's what I'm trying to keep in mind here, is at what point we want to have it loop. Okay, so they walk up. She walks up on top of this. And now they're all picking up their cube. And then they're going to start stepping down here. Right now we've only got a singular step though, so... Do we want to have it loop all the way up here at the top? Or would that be too much? Let's see. Just as a sort of initial test. Yeah, because then it jumps them to the wrong spot. So when they start going through and they hit the step function, what we really want to have them do is start looping at that point, maybe. And then we're going to have a different exit out swap in a different fashion. I think what's getting them stuck right now is the fact that they're checking really the ground if there's anything. Also, this is something else that's good to think about, is that they don't actually just walk into, you know, they don't step into the shredder and fall. They can only give themselves to the shredder. They can't walk into it. But it doesn't seem like they can check if they are holding something then. We just have to, right now at the very least, we'll have to just keep in mind the logic of making sure that they have something in their hands. Which is where this problem comes in. We'll just start and see how it goes. Make it or instead of and, I think. Not quite sure, because I think that's still going, because they were just continuously trying to walk downwards. And really what we were wanting to check is if there's a shredder below them, and then they have that thing in their hands. But hello there, Cooch, and welcome to the stream. I want to pause when they get down here, because I'm pretty sure they're going to hit to where they're just going to give themselves to the shredder. Because they're going to go, hey, shredder below us, well, we should give ourselves to that. But we don't really want them to do that. So we only really want to loop that one time. We don't want to do it a bunch. So really, what we want to have happen here is after they do a give to command right here, that's when they're going to re-jump to the top of the program. So see, then they will start looping, they go down the first time they give it to the program, they then swap directions and start walking upwards. They will grab a new cube, turn around, and head down until they give it the new cube to Shredder, and then they walk up. Little bit slow, probably a faster way to do it, but that works. Then otherwise, yeah, they'd get stuck in this loop here where they just want to, you know, give themselves to the Shredder. But there we go. A little bit longer, and we did get a higher average amount, but we did solve it, so we are able to continue up the elevator. Excellent. So now we have Little Exterminator 2, perhaps another shredding solution that we're gonna have to do. Year 16. Alright, chat. Look at me. Look at me programming. I solved this one for you. Well, sort of. The worker on the right just, isn't, they're not working. Also, everyone dies. Can you fix it with only 2 changes? Watch. Whoop. It looks funny after they throw in the data cube and go, oh, well, now time for me to go. Okay, so I can see instantly, since he has, if they're checking for the wall here, if there isn't a wall, do this. And since when they hit a wall, they start going to the right. So we kind of want to have this be an or. Before you edit the program, use this button to step through one line at a time. No, that's okay. I'm just going to have you go through touch a worker to observe their path in your program. Well, we already kind of saw that earlier. We kind of came across it on accident. Detect cube is first change since it detects wall. Well, you can see it has if it's not equal to a wall. So what happens is that both of them hit wall, and they'll do things properly. So she gets caught there if this isn't equal to a wall. So if we essentially make it an or, if this is equal to a wall, not equal to a wall, or a hole. Because she should work fine. if this was a wall also, but that's not the case. So if we swap it to also be an ore hole, or below is not equal to a hole, that should then catch her. So then we just need to fix the case for when they hit the shredder. Wait, nope, there we go. It does still knock her out. I guess maybe because it's checking for all of them. Yeah, because now they're both... I think the problem here is that the wall is one below, maybe. Kind of watching. Picks that up, and then starts walking to the right. Programmer, more like nude grammar. Noob. I said that more like nude on accident, and that kind of throws in a different meaning. I mean, really what they can do is they would get tossed out of this. So we could almost change this to be checking for a data cube. Because when they would hit the data cube, they would then pick it up and exit out. So if what they're on top of is not a data cube. So then they'll walk down, they will hit the data cube, they will pick up the data cube, and then they exit out and start stepping instead. Which is where we're going to want to have them exit out and end the program. Maybe have them step to the right once? I don't know, they get stuck on if there's a person in front of them, yeah? So if we had them at this give to point, we need them out of the way. Perhaps we'll just try initially if we just straight up insert a step right and see what we do. Do we really need them alive? I mean, no, that's not a requirement. That was one of the notes before. When we killed the one that didn't have a data cube when we first learned about shredders. There we go. That works. That was their problem, is that they looped that give to part when they it's like when we checked it earlier for us, one of the problems we were having was that give to when we needed to exit them out at that point, really. So now we have two cases. Okay, I didn't actually mean to click that. I was thinking the wrong thing. I take a step out. Here's this uniquely disposed. That is 18. We're going to go to the right, chat. Look, it's content creators. That's me. And that's some of you in chat, because some of you are content creators as well. I would even count artists. If there's any artists in chat, that's content creation, because you are creating art. Your content, creating it, content creation. So Mimi, that makes you a content creator too. Yeah, I'm giving a round of applause for Mimi, content creator. Whoa. Where do you think all this data comes from? Data doesn't just create itself, you know. As much fun as some people think shredding is, if all we do is shred, we'll eventually run out of data. So I think you're ready. Are you ready? You got printers! Let's all practice printing something! Oh my god, chat, we're printing out now. You got printers. They will print out a random data cube each time you use them. Everyone, go try out the new printers. I guess we're going to pick up below us then. And I see now that this wasn't an option previously. I think the pickup before was just a simple, hey, pick up what you're on top of, yeah? But now we can choose a direction for where we're picking up. Oh. Did everyone like their new printers? Guys? Whoops. Management appears to have made a mistake, so let's all consider this a success and move on. Good job, everyone! We did it, chat. I've completed the size and speed challenge. I can't believe it. I'm a master gamer now. First try. That's why we have a bug fix. This is definitely just a means to teach you, hey, if you just try to pick up what's below you with those printers, you are picking up the printer itself and you're going to get squished by it. You're not grabbing out the data. Content is no more. Oh no. Whoops. It appears you were given the wrong command in your previous assignment. You didn't want pickup command. You need a different one. See, so, management feels a little bit badly about that. Lost a couple of workers as a result, so, let's not pick up printers anymore. They're heavy. Management has provided a new command for you. Take from. You can take from printers. You can also take from other workers. Let's all use our new command responsibly. Alright, so this is pairing with give to, really. Each worker must print fresh data cubes and immediately shred them. Repeat forever. So we just, forever, we're going to have them pull out one of the pieces of data, shred, then go back, pick up more data, shred, and loop. So, we don't want to pick up, we're going to take from, really, if we start with an if here, if we do if below us is a printer, then we will take from it. And then we would step to the right. And then we would be at the shredder at this point. Okay, hang on. You could just have it loop take from and give to, can't you? I mean, yeah, you're gonna have it loop all of it. So I'm trying to think so that we can have it, you know, we take, if below us is a printer, we're going to take from. Or do we need that if we just had this kind of straight out like that, as you say, since they're starting at the printer anyway? If we take from this, we step to the right, we give that to the printer, to the shredder below us, and then we step to the left, and then we just jump loop that. So then we would take from, step, give to, left. Take from, step, give to, left. So then you can do that. You can give to bottom right. Oh, that's true. We don't even have to step. We can just take from this, give. It's because the diagonals, chat, I hate them. I hate diagonals. I want to work up, down, left, right. You look at your keyboard. You have arrow keys, up, down, left, right, and you have WASD. You don't have diagonals. Unless you're maybe looking over at your numpad and considering 7913 as diagonals. You know, fuck diagonals, I hate them. Might you remove the step as well? Yes, I do. Need to get rid of that too. So then just take from, give to. Take from give to. So much simpler. She hates bishops and chess. I intentionally sacrifice my bishops to the pawns of the enemy just because I hate them. Oh, okay, well that's useful to know. Hang on. So gift to does not keep them doing that. So what we really want to do is after we give to, we want to have them step back to the right. So that way they will pick it up, step and shred, and then walk back to the left, thus keeping them from death. Oh, okay, I'm repeating this forever. Or do they only want us to do it once, really? But I did complete it. Would it take from work in the same spot as step? No, that might. What happens if we do that? We would need another give to. Whoops. Not quite. Take from below. Give to what's right. So then we take from that side again. And we give to the right. And then we would take from... Take from there. Give to right. Take from left. Give to right. And then we have it looping again. And it says to repeat this forever. Maybe what we should do is intentionally have themselves sacrifice to the shredders. Okay. See, I did this the first time and eventually it didn't stop us, but this time it is. So, alright. Okay. I know we said to repeat forever, but that should be enough. We're not robots. Which then I believe we technically completed this first step our first try. We only added extra because we started looping it and nothing was happening. I guess we didn't loop it long enough. Here we go. It's time for big data, chat. This is where the statistics comes into action. Statistics love big data. All these years, I've evaluated many workers, just like you. But they have also been evaluating me. And the ratings are in. On a scale from 0, actively hostile, to 99, a flawless specimen of managerial excellence. How would you rate me? Well, now we know. I'll just print out these evaluations here and we'll see how I did. Workers, please take my evaluation cubes from the printers. But if you pick up a number less than 50, let's just toss it in a shredder and go print another one. All workers must hold numbers 50 or higher. Yes, I'm doing great. And the data supports it. Okay, so we have them basically, we want to just have all of our workers pull this number. Pro tip for management, you can now use your if command to query the thing you're holding. Chat, there we go. Earlier on when we were wondering if we could check if we're even holding anything, we're now allowed to do so. Okay. So then how should we maybe start this? We are, because we want to grab something, and then we have to move our worker out of the way. Wait? One of the actions we're able to do is give to. So really what we can do is have somebody here that's grabbing the number, and then just passing it to everybody else. Though, that is going to make that speed very slow if we're passing it between everybody. So, if what we're thinking is maybe in terms of they grab the number and then they just walk to get out of the way, might be a little bit awkward, unsure. Though, alternatively, chat, what if we... Because it just says all workers must hold a data cube with a value of 50 or bigger. What if we instead had all of the workers that aren't at the 93 shred themselves? You can't hold a number if you're dead. If you only had a singular worker, and that singular worker is holding a 93, that does fulfill the requirements, chat. And hello there, Sick, and welcome to the stream. You're about to witness the death of a couple of employees. Alright, so let's do that. I wonder if they're able to check if the what size the printer contains. I might kind of check that. Can't you check if the number is greater than 50? Yeah. So then I could have them check if number is greater than 50. Die. Well, if it's greater than 50, you're good. Otherwise, shred the paper you're holding and then yourself. So, everybody's going to have to start, of course, by stepping down. And then we're going to take from the printer below. So, if the item you're holding, see your direction, if my item is greater than 50, really, since all we have is 42, 22, 93, I'm just gonna have it check if it's greater than 90. If my item is greater than 90, then step right and step up. And then you can just go ahead, you know, loop that forever. Because then they can just walk up against the wall, don't care about them, we just want them out of the way. Actually, it's greater than or equal to 50. Oh my god, so particular. You're right, it does say or bigger, so, you know, accurate. And so you are aware, Sick, it is tagged on the stream, you are free to backseat this one, because we are all working together to come to these solutions for these programming puzzles. So you don't have to just sit there getting frustrated at me not being able to solve it, because you can go ahead and give input. Oh, I was just being a nerd? Yeah, I realize, you know, you got that little object emote. I'm just commenting that you are... This one is a backseating allowed stream. So if my item is greater than 90, then step right and step up. Else, give your thing to the left, and then give yourself to the shredder. And then loop. Let me see if that'll work. Nerdery is fully accepted this stream. Welcome to the programmer nerds in chat, I suppose. After the number on the printer, isn't it going to pick a random number? No, I think the number that they pull... Is that the case? I'm thinking back to the previous level. I think you're right, actually. But I think that's still fine, because then what they can do is, you know, just kill themselves anyway. What, you got a number that isn't 90? Die. Because again, it says that they just have to hold a data value of 50 or bigger. And it almost, I guess either way works, and it would be faster if we had this than counting down from 50 instead. So let me do that then. Because then if she grabbed it and got out of the way, if we kept that at 90, that means we would have, I guess either way would be just as fast if they just straight up shredded themselves afterwards, you know? You could probably cut down times if you have everyone else just move left and jump into the shredder instead of picking up a new cube each time. If you have no workers, and everybody's dead, and you don't have anybody to hold the 90, or 50 or higher, would that count? Really? It's not like we need to do this as fast as possible, we just have to hit the solution. So the solution that we're going to kind of opt for currently is just, if you get a cube that is greater than 50, you're good, you're safe. However, if you've got yourself some bad RNG and you've pulled out something that is greater than 50, or less than 50, sorry, you have to shred yourself too. Uh-oh. They got a little bit stuck. Because then they want to go down here. So if my item is greater than or equal to 50, step to the right. Because they're going step down and then they get stuck up here. Else if my item is nothing. Alright, then they will greedily just wait. Look, see, we had one person dying. Does that... Alright, it looks like I can't just have them endlessly walk. I suppose then we'll say if they hit a wall. If above them is a wall. Or above them is a worker. Then end. Else they'll jump up to the top, I think. And they'll keep walking upwards. They don't need to turn the cubes into her, do they? I don't think so. Or maybe they do. Everybody's getting fucked up now, aren't they? This step didn't work. Let's just remove this. And just check that I've properly reset it to where it was. I think I have messed it up a little bit. Let me just undo back to before I started putting in those extra pieces. Now I've kind of messed up what I had going. I think if it's lower, they gotta pick a new number. Well, see, what I was having them do before is if it was lower, they just shredded themselves. And I think what was throwing off my program before was the fact I was having them loop walk up here, so was just wanting to kind of get themselves stuck in that. I'm not totally sure. I think this is where I had it. If my item is nothing, then go up and go ahead and just reset. I pretty much fucked up my program to what it was originally. Oh no, see, I think this is what messes them up. And it does appear that they do just swap locations. They don't kind of get stuck on each other. Alright, so now it is the case I think they do have to maybe actually give her the items. Or it might be the case we do actually need everybody alive. If over 90 at the end of the step-ups end, numbers below 50, shred it and pick a new one, then loop that or something. My goal was to just kill anybody who got a lower number, you know, because then you don't have to worry about those employees holding anything. But it seems like instead, either we need to give her our cards, or we need to have everybody, you know, not die. And you can't sneak around this requirement if somebody dies. Which was kind of what I was wanting to do. That's how I programmed my thing. So I guess I'm just going to start from scratch and rebuild it with, no, we are not allowed to kill our workers. All workers might need actually everybody, not who remains. Oh, man. I mean, if it's below 50, they're not satisfied, so it's okay to... That's what I was operating off of, but I don't think that's an option. So, what we do is we'll have them step down. This will get everybody moved down and let these people pick up a form. So, then we will take from the printer. If the item that you get is greater or equal to 50. Then you will step to the right. And then just walk up. So you are out of the way. So now that you have grabbed your 50 up cube, you're no longer a problem. So, for those who have grabbed a less than 50, we will need to give that to the shredder. And then take a new form from the printer. And then this would loop back up. To check the item again. Now, the next case is there can only be so many people here at a time. We'll just have to kind of check things here. Now, I think you are going to need to add a function to stop the others from moving down if a worker is at the shredder. Otherwise, they will block them from picking up another data. Pretty sure that is the case, yes. Or at the least, not necessarily end, but just kind of wait. So if so they would take from the piece, they check their item. Else, if there is someone, a worker to their left, maybe we'll just have them loop and wait. Else do the shredder action. Would that work? I don't know. Not having them loop quite right. This looks kind of funny though. Okay, the problem is the people at the back when there's not a printer there. So really, we have everyone step down. If below them is a printer, then we will take from. Else, they will just step down again. I guess that doesn't work because then they grab the thing and then they get stuck. If there is a printer, then they would take from it. And then they'll jump outside. We have a lot of jumps happening here. I like watching the granny right here. She's doing work. She's trying her best. And now she's free. But poor people up here, they've managed to escape without holding anything. Let's start over. Because we're getting a little bit too complicated here. Maybe your original idea of passing the number up was the best solution. I kind of feel like that's the case, and then we only have to worry about the front person really grabbing the numbers and whatnot. So, we have everybody step down. It puts this person at the printer. So, they will take from the printer. If the number is greater than or equal to 50. There we are. Then they will give it. Wait, we want to do 2 checks here. If my item is greater than 50, and there is a worker above, then give it to the person that's above you. That way, when it hits this person up here at the top, they're not going to try and giving their cube to somebody because there's nobody there. So, then if their number is not, we're going to have them give that to the shredder. So give their item to shredder. And then step back to the right. We're going to stay extremely simple, and this probably will break. We'll just go ahead and check. You don't need that step. If you're referring to the checking the worker one, I'm just not quite sure what'll happen if they try giving it. Say the person at the top is going to try giving it to the floor. You can pick bottom right. I then could have it give to left. and then pick up right, and then I would still need to loop it to check the item number, though. Because it moves you back to the printer. If you mean when I do the take from command, since right now we're taking from below. I believe here, because if we start from the top again and we go step down, take from printer, check. Alright? If the number is greater than 50 and there's someone above you, give it to them. Otherwise, we're going to take from this, we're going to give our thing to the printer. And so then rather than, because then we can do straight a take from and then loop it at the top. It's kind of either case works, I think. Oh, but it does throw everybody else off because they're all looping that over there. So we need to have a case for if they don't have anything. So, if we throw this check, if below them is a printer, then I kind of want them to loop this programming bit here. Not sure if it's going to let me insert this right. Okay, hang on. Let me just reset this. So, have everyone step down. If there is a printer below you, or let me do it instead, if there is not a printer below you, don't do anything. If there is a printer below you, that's implied by the not equal to, then we will take from below. So then we do our number check. If their item, you want the 50, is greater than or equal to 50, then give it to above. And we'll just go ahead and leave that right now, and we'll see if we do need to have that loop. Or if the person at the top will just go, hey, there's no one above me. Though, to make things kind of end nicely and have them not go, but there's no one to give it to, we would do if there's no worker above me, then just ends. And I would chop that off, but then simultaneously it would make our program longer. And then it would complain at us and not... We probably wouldn't hit the end goal for a number of steps at the end anyway, but you know. Okay, so if my item is greater than or equal to 50, give it to someone above. Otherwise, we're going to give it to the shredder. And we'll go ahead and we'll do it like what chat was kind of commenting, how they can then just instantly go and grab it from the next printer. And then we would just jump to go back up. We have to jump up here, though. That way we can take... Wait, no, because we're already holding something, so we just need to loop this portion of it. So they give it to the shredder. Oh, but see, then we don't have... We need these people to loop, too. They pull it. And they only give it once up. Alright, so then we can do kind of another if So if there is above them a worker, then give it to them. Otherwise, they can just end. Oop. Red, grab. So the problem we've still got is the... Let me go back a bit then. Okay, so here we are. They're checking their items. They go, okay. I don't like that, feels like it instantly. I only want it to play singular step, but then it keeps going. Restart, please. Alright. So, they have passed... Let me just focus on that. They've given it to the person above them. And then, after they give it to the person above them, it throws them out of the loop. So that's where one of our problem is. You could maybe jump to the if printer below. Well, what's happening is that after they pull it, after they have given their item to someone, is they just kind of hang out to do nothing. So we need a case that they check if somebody has something above them. Let's go ahead and restart just so I can watch again. Because this is where it gets stuck. They give it once. But we need them to keep looping. So, since you made the, yeah, because their functions have ended, But then we can kind of loop up somewhere else, perhaps. Let's start over. Sometimes I think, rather than adjusting some of the formula pieces afterwards, if we start, it might be a little bit easier. So you'll need to jump forward to my item instead of end. Yeah. Yeah, because then I guess if you force end them, what ends up... I guess this is also why you have different tabs, is so you can copy one of them and paste it over, so you can kind of keep a log of what your programs were. But, yeah, so we can't end it, because if we end it, then when they get into that loop, they'll just never do anything ever again. So, we have everybody step down. If there is a printer below, we'll do the case if there isn't a printer so we can address everybody else, perhaps. If there isn't a printer below, and my item is nothing. Because we can also maybe do that to where they can kind of continue passing things properly. I'm trying to think here. How can we parse this? So, if there isn't a printer below, how about we go ahead and just focus if there is a printer below them? Step down. If there is a printer below them, we'll focus on the person with the printer temporarily. If there is a printer below them, they are going to take from the printer, and then we do a number check. If that item that they have pulled out of the printer is greater than or equal to 50, then they will give that item to the person above them. Now, perhaps we might want to do an additional check to see if the person above them has something already. I'm not sure what'll happen if they're already holding. Say, everybody above already has a number, and if they pull it out and they try to give it to somebody that has something already, if they just kind of complain, I'm not sure. Okay, so maybe we want to do two cases if my item is greater than 50. And above me. Can I do that? I can do above me is equal to my item. What is that checking exactly? If the person above me is holding something? And hello there, Twitchy. Welcome. Welcome to programming. Yahoo! Yahey! So if my item is greater than or equal to 50, then we would give it to the person above. Now, if we don't do anything past this, then they're not going to grab from the printer again. So we want to have them grab from the printer again, but we only want to have them grab from the printer again if the person above them, or really if, because they're going to have to stop the loop also. So I think instead, rather than checking the my item first, just for kind of following purposes to work through the program a little bit more easily, I'm going to instead focus on the case if they do not have the right thing. So, if they do not have the right thing, we want to instead give it to the shredder, and then take a new item, and then this section is looped. So, if my item is less than 50, grab from shredder, get new number. And so then if their number is greater than 50, so now we are at, maybe we'll go ahead and add that comment line. Or would it be good to add that though? I think the comments is useful, but I'm trying to think of where it's most meaningful to add the comment. Realizing that on mobile, since you can't see BTTV emotes, people just look like psychos typing stuff like Peepo arrive big data. Wide Peepo. Looks a little bit wackier than what the proper case is, but hello there, Silver, and welcome! We're doing some programming indeed, and since both Twitchy and Silver, you are allowed to do backseating. You can provide, what if you do this instead? Or, you know, you can just hang around as I and chat, who is kind of working through a puzzle, work through it all together. If you aren't worried about amount of lines, you could have the people at the top end. All they'd be doing is receiving blocks. Yeah, but we have to think about the case for the people that are at the top. I guess then you can have a check first. If there's nobody above you, then just end your program. We'll go. I'm going to go ahead and just focus at the people down here at the bottom, though, I think. So, if my item is less than 50, grab here, loop that. So if it is greater than 50, if my item is greater than 50, else, really this is the case now, if it is greater than or equal to 50, is what we're checking right here. So if it is greater than or equal to 50, then we will give it to the person above us. But only if there's a worker there, because otherwise we could end. I guess then that would maybe pass it if the... Can we check if somebody has something? Like, is checking my item meaning they're checking if somebody above them is holding something? If the person above them is holding an item, or is not with item, I'm not sure exactly what that's checking. Is not equal to, maybe if we do is not equal to, then give it to them. We'll just, I'm just going to play it here and let's just try it, see what happens. Real asshole power play for me to backseat a game I've never seen? I guess I'll try it. See, Silver, this is a puzzle game, though, so it operates differently. So here, you observe and see what happens at the same time. Loop that and try and see if it works. Do you mean loop this section? The give to section? We'll just play this and see what happens. Shred. Grab. Give to. Alright, we do get stuck here, though. I think what we want to do is have this... We need to loop it. Because if it is great... Because we need to loop it back up here at the top. If your thing is greater than 50, give it to the person above. I see the others move past it because they don't have an item. Yeah. And they get kind of stuck down there at the bottom. Let me see. So, if there is a printer below you, so then everybody else gets stuck. So what we really want them to do maybe is to slap it up to that item number check. Okay, really now we're thinking of commands. What is happening to the people above? This first set of people, this first set is essentially everybody who's above printer. So the second set is everybody who is not above printer. If there is a worker above, okay, hang on, because we want to make sure they continue to pass as needed. Maybe you can have them check below and take it if it is greater than 50. I'm going to leave where it is now, and I'm going to go ahead and think and address the people above, because they're the ones that are getting exited out of the program and are stopping and aren't doing anything. They're not doing number checks. So, they have received item from person below, and their item is 100% going to be greater than 50. And so we want to have them keep passing their item until there isn't. So what if we instead check if above has something? Then end. Otherwise, give your thing to the person above you. See, because right now they're stuck, they don't have anything to give. This person just continues passing up. And then they stop. So now what we need to address are the people are getting stuck here. Our printer people. We've got our 3 printer people that are stuck. So what we want to do is maybe loop back up here. Okay, so they're grabbing. They grab new thing. They pass it up. They grab old, shred, grab new. Pass it up. It's a little bit slow, but it looks like this program does work. Toss it. They grab a new thing. This guy's gonna toss it. Grab a new thing. And this does work. It is very slow, and it kind of just loops with them going, uh-oh, oh no, oh heck, oh geez, what do I do now? Now have them all shred themselves? If only I could do that. But this works. Alright, there we go, chat. Certainly did not hit the size challenge, and definitely did not have the average hits. I like, though, how fast everything goes until it hits a particular point here. It's like fast, 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 extremely slow, fast. At least we got it, though, chat. There we go. Next solution, here we go. Number Royale. Chat. Let's roll. It's RNG time. This is like D&D now. Roll. Roll, roll, roll. Where will they land? Nobody knows. When you press the play button, the data cubes will each land on a random number. Only the worker with the highest number may remain. All workers must pick up the data cube directly in front of them. Only the worker or workers with the highest data cube may remain. All other workers must dive with their cubes into the disposal hole. Tip for manager. Want to compare something you are holding with something your neighbor is holding? Just use your if command to compare my item with whichever tile your neighbor is standing on. Your workers are smart enough to know you want to compare their items. Got it. So we're going to start off then with picking up the data cube. What a way to get fired! Oh, you don't have the highest thing? Plunge yourself into oblivion. Bye! And hello there, Slug Nugs, and welcome! This level does have a pretty good tune to it. Who shall remain? You roll. 12? Someone with a medium-high number? I don't know. Alright, so they're all holding cubes now. So if we check... Okay, just use your if command to compare my item. If my item... What happens if they do have an even one? It says to keep the highest. What happens if somebody's the same? I guess they can both stay. If my item is less than the worker on the left, or a worker on the right, or my item is less than a worker on the right, that just has a worker. Does it check both sides of them? Well, I guess we'll just try this if my item is less than a worker. And I guess I'll just have them... They're here, so then we would have them step down twice. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows what to do. 'Cause everybody's just getting thrown out. I don't know if they're actually comparing anything with each other. I guess if it's probably this directional, what we don't want to do is compare. If my item is less than worker, we want to do the direction. If my item is less than the person on the left, or my item is less than the person on my right, then walk down twice. Ah, but then it breaks it for there's still people who remain, and we didn't walk down far enough either. So it's like a battle royale here. And we don't really need multiple steps. We can just really have them loop until they die. So then... So, everybody who has a lower number will all perish, but then we're going to have some remainder people. I guess then what we'll then do is have them all regroup together. So we'll have everybody walk until they all meet up with each other. So, if there is nothing to the left of me, if left is nothing, then step to the left and loop that. Else, we're going to go back to the top to compare items. Okay, right here though, they get stuck walking. So what we want to have it do then, if there's nothing, step to the left. We need to have that loop up here, not on the step action, really. Then you could have an else to move left a few times and then loop it again, same brain. Yeah! You need another check after the first if nothing. It's not so much... Yes, that is true. But we don't need to make a new check for nothing. We just need to loop it up at that check, not where they're walking. Then he's going to keep walking, and then they're going to check the numbers with each other, and there we go. We used more than needed commands, but we did get it on the faster side. Look at that, with an average of 10 seconds. I suppose what it's really checking here is what our average, since it's running the trial multiple times. That's why when we did that one check with the printers, it was super low, and then there was one that was ridiculously long, and then a bunch were low again, is it's running the test 25 times to see what the average is between all of those checks. So there we go. We go on to the sorting hall. Okay, don't be alarmed. Let's not make any sudden movements or step out of line. We're being evaluated by robots, or robot overlords. I am very alarmed. I start sweating. I am too, but we can't show it to our robot overlords. I need you to calmly sort the line of cubes from smallest on the left to biggest on the right. Yes, I remember when problems like this used to be difficult when there was only one person working on it. But now we've got teamwork. Now, I see that our options, we don't have any give to or take from, so we can't have them pass to each other. We have to have them walk, move around instead, I guess. Are those towers covered in spinning batons? Are the robots covered in spinning batons? I mean, at the very least, they're kind of like fans, aren't they? So you could picture that like spinning batons. Let's go ahead and start then by picking up the cubes. And now they're all going to have random numbers of assortment. So, if my item... I guess we're kind of... Because what's going to... No, because we can just have people move left to right when they do the steps. They're not going to move up and down, so we don't have to worry about, you know, moving people out of line and back into line. That's not a problem. If they step, they will just move locations. So, if my item is... We need to check the two sides. And we want the right side to be greater and left side to be less. So, if my item is less than the person is left than the person on the left, we want to move them to the left. But we don't want to go straight to step right because that might move people out. Maybe you can have it if my item is lower, drop it to the bottom left, and if my item is higher, drop bottom. I don't think we need to have them drop items around because when we have them step, they will just swap spots. So I'm going to operate rather than constantly picking up and putting down the data cube they're at. We're going to have them rearrange themselves in the line. That's going to be my thought process initially here as we start working through. So if my item is less than the person on the left, should I be checking the person on their right too? I guess if we keep a mindset of just let's move everybody, let's have everybody walk to the left that needs to. And do I need to check the right-facing person as well? Maybe we'll just keep it simple at the moment. We'll go ahead, start basic, and we'll just troubleshoot fix as we go here. So if my item is less than the person on the left, step to the left. And let's just loop it to see what happens. I think with this solution, should work. It's just super slow. No, it doesn't quite work. Yeah, we do need to check both cases. That way they can keep walking. So if my item is greater than on the right, we want to check and greater than right. Not quite. We have a bunch of people that are getting thrown out of the case. Needs to be or and would mean both need to be positive. Yeah. Almost. We can't check these at the same time. Might need a separate if statement to check the other direction. Kind of seems like maybe that's the case. I think maybe part of what's happening is when people get thrown out of the loop, you know, and they end and they don't walk anymore. Because essentially what's happening is they go, oh, okay, my thing is greater than the other person's. Looks like we're fine. So I think we do need that else if my item oops, if my item is greater than my item. If my item, checking to the right. If my item is greater than the person's on the right, then we want to step to the right. Our problem is the people who are being tossed out, we need to have them continuously go until both sides are true, and that still is kind of off. Maybe else step right would work. Do you even need to check the my item if they end up moving to the else function? Well, we don't necessarily want to have them move right away, because they need to stop walking at some point. I guess if we just have them infinite walk, really? So they are constantly looping this function until it's always true or something? Okay, we're gonna ditch that. If my item is less than the person on the left, step to the left. And put a jump at the end that goes back to the front and remove jump for both if. Or just having it loop like this. Everybody's trying to walk to the left. What's happening is because your jump is in your if statement, and some don't match either statement, they skip the statement and don't recycle. I think what's also happening is some of these people trying to walk to the left and they can't. They're also getting, some of the people are getting stuck walking. Because the other people are wanting to just loop, so they kind of need us. That's why it worked in some cases. Why it was working here and they'll continue to swap places is because since these people down here aren't trying to do a command, they're fine. But since we're putting the else outside here, else jump, these other people are still in the loop. So it then is saying, all right, these people who are trying to walk, they can't swap places with you because you are still trying to execute a command. So this doesn't work either. What, I think you also need the if greater than statement. I think so too, so that they don't just stop on checking the one side. If two workers are both trying to walk to the other one's tile, they will swap positions. Something it's noting there too. everybody go to the right. Why go anywhere else? Let me just reset everything. We refresh our mind. Pick up cube. Everybody now has cube. We then need to do our numerical checks. If my item is less than a person on the left, which means I need to go to the left. So that way my cube is on that greater side. So that now that I have taken a step that way, I will then look to my right. Is my item greater than the person on the right? If my item is greater than the person on the right, then we need to swap places. We're still getting a little bit stuck. A cube obtained, awaiting math. Okay, what they're getting stuck on here is that loop. Or trying to walk left. Because if they get stuck there... Okay, I think I understand. We're getting a little bit closer. It's kind of like a little bit what's happening is since they're kind of all trying to do multiple cases at the same time. We have Amber, for example, who's trying to walk to the left. And this person here who's comparing my item is less than this other person. Some of them are running into a true statement on both. It's kind of more that they get stuck because if they're trying to walk to the other person's tile, they'll swap. But since they're kind of getting stuck walking in the same direction, you nested your if. You nested if. Your second if is nested in your first. Yes, that was intentional. Might be the case that we want to have it outside. What if we put the if greater than in the else instead? Yeah, so we'll try that. But that does mean we're going to need to have something happen after this first if statement, because right now they're just going to do their if, because you can see, whoa, wait, hang on. Oh. Wow, look at that. Humans are definitely not obsolete. Oh. Oh. We even got it on the faster side. Well, there we go. Sometimes you want nested ifs. You did not want a nested if in that case is all. Well, here we go. Budget brigade number 1. Alright, chat. Next roll. Well, this is clearly dangerous. Facilities management was supposed to install conveyor belts in here, but we couldn't afford conveyor belts. Even though we live in a fucking utopia world, we still can't buy them. How could you do that with less than one command? I don't know. You know, since the cubes are randomized, I wonder if you could have just made them pick up below and eventually complete it in one step. You probably could. But I'm pretty sure the cubes aren't infinitely randomized, are they? Like, if you set them back down, do they go back to being randomized again? And it's only while they're holding them, it's randomizing, because otherwise you would have a case where it's just, you wouldn't be able to do it. But we couldn't afford conveyor belts because someone blew our budget on shredders. So, everyone, just think like a conveyor belt. Print stuff on the left, shred it on the right. Let's not overthink this. Oh yeah, and for safety compliance, no one is allowed to leave their tile. So we have to just do this for a give to take from. So really, we need to determine who's who. If you are a person that is at a printer, if there is a printer below you, you are going to take from printer and then give it to the person on your right. And then we'll need to just loop that. If there is a shredder below you, then, well, there's two cases. If there is a shredder below you, there's almost a kind of couple cases. I guess we can go... If you have some... Because we need to think in the case we can't just instantly say give to, because otherwise they'll throw themselves into the shredder. So perhaps instead what we'll check first is if there's a printer below you, all you're going to do is grab from printer, pass to right. That's fine. However, if you are a person, really another way to think of it even is if you're the shredder person, all of the shredders are on the right side. So really what we can check for is if there is a worker to the right of you, then just give a thing to that person. And then we could loop that. And then when they don't have anything to pass, they'll just be like, it's fine. However, then, we're going to fall outside of the case. If there is not a printer below you, and if there is not a worker to the right of you, then you are a shredder person. So, if you have something, or really, it's if my item is a data cube, then give it to below. Otherwise, just loop. So that means they will only do something. They'll just loop this forever, unless they have something, in which case they shred. You can't take from yourself into a shredder, can you? I don't think so. If person to left, give to right. That wouldn't work because you'd have this person on the end, because there is a person on the left, and if we gave to right, then they would drop their thing into oblivion. So what we want to do for the shredder people is check that left side. I played another game similar to this called Auto Chef, but that game was vastly more difficult because it dealt with optimizing a fast food chain instead of just optimizing completing a task. Very curious. You can throw yourself into a shredder. Yeah, the give to command. But Skelly was asking more about the take from rather than give to. Let's just see what happens then. We might have a little bit of a problem if something falls outside of this case, I think. But we'll go ahead and just start here and see what happens. Okay, so we have it give it to them. And it passes. And it passes, and this person just kind of... I see, though, we've already got somebody who's stuck outside the case right here. So what happens is that he gives it to the shredder, But then since we didn't loop that and he just exits the command, he gets stuck again. So what we want to do is do another jump. So that way, again, it just loops this forever. So pass it to the right. And then passes to the right. And then he gets it, gets an item, shreds down, and then just waits until he gets a new item. And that was what we wanted to do, right? Yes, that was it. There we go. You might need to add a shredder below. No, all that was happening was that when the person was shredding their piece, since they were then being exited out of our command group, they weren't doing anything after getting a new cube. If you have a jump on every clause, you don't need that jump at the end, right? At the very end, that might be the case, yeah. But it's just a little bit of a, I guess, catch case. I don't know. But we did complete this anyway, even if not optimally in either case. We completed it for now. Will the worker and printer shredder clause override each other? No, because if there is the printer, then the person at the printer will just loop there, and since the other person at the shredder wasn't in that first printer group, it's fine. So, ultimately, that command group, maybe not optimal, did function. So, alright chat, don't worry, we're on our next puzzle. Here we go. Printer had priority. Yeah.
Here we go. My first shredding memory.
Oh my god.
Yes, gather around.
This is totally going to be a please shred everything in this room. Remember when we shredded our first data cube together? Of course you don't. You haven't had accessible memory. Until now. Yes, each of you can now remember what? Got that? 4. You might store the location of a shredder you particularly like, or a special cube you've got your eye on. Yes, I'm sure your memories will be very special and important to you. So watch what happens when you run the example program I took the liberty of creating for you. Okay, we don't have to do this. They've made the program for us. It's using it as example. You see that 69 data cube down there in the lower left? Why, I do too now. That's pretty nice. So now we can do a memory function. So memory 1 is equal... I guess that had that little sticky note picture, you know, of the person with the 4 memories. Here's the memory. So memory 1 is equal to the nearest data cube. Shred all data cubes. I got a new command, nearest. It finds the nearest thing of a particular type and stores it in one of your 4 convenient memory slots, so you can always access or walk to it later. Which means at some point what we're going to want to do is remember the place of the shredder. That way we can have them walk back to the shredder. I'm just going to play this to see what happens. Pick up what they remember as the nearest data cube. So after they have a data cube, I'm not sure if they're able to then, it seems like, so they pick up their data cubes. Thank you, I kind of wanted to pause afterwards. I guess I'll manually hit pause here. We need to get them down to the shredder now. Nice! Oh boy, declaring variables. Suddenly this game seems way more complicated than AutomaChef. Maybe? I haven't played that. Maybe it gets more complicated, who knows? But we've got the memories now. This does mean, though, that we don't have to write a command for them finding a data cube. We now need to write a command section for them finding the shredder. So we can note 2 cases here. We need to have them avoid this section, so we kind of maybe will have them do maybe different things. I don't know that we can have a new memory created. So I don't see that listed as any sort of possibility. I can see that they have memory 1, 2, 3, 4. Unless maybe we can set multiple memories? I don't know if we need a specific command line like this. Unless we're able to set it like this. Memory 2 is the nearest shredder. Can we give it to it like this? Give to memory 2? Do they have to be near the shredder in order to remember it? So we might have to have them walk down to it first. Let's just see what happens if we run this to see if they pick up and start heading over to the shredder. You need an if statement. I realize we're going to need to have multiple things here for running through. I'm just playing initially to see what happens if we do this. Alright, so by declaring the next memory of nearest shredder, they don't actually have to go manually find it, they just know. So now is where we will actually, you know, program everything in. So, if my item is nothing, then we want to pick up, and we want to give it to memory 2. And then we'll try just looping that. Okay. Can we put it outside that? Yeah. So we want this outside the else function. That way when they complete giving the item to the shredder, they will go out and grab another. Oh. It seems that they are, not doing that right. If my item is nothing. We're not doing this quite right because we need to have them actually go out. If my item is nothing, what we want to do, if my item is a data cube. Oops! That was the problem! They were going, oh, I have nothing? Haha, let's go to the printer then, yahoo! We want our pickup to be outside. My item is a data cube, give it to the memory. Then, uh-oh, she's confused. She doesn't remember where the nearest data cube is at. Help, help, she says. Maybe we can't do any steps. All we have is if, jump, and pickup give to nearest. And what she's having a problem with is she can't remember what the nearest data cube is now. I wonder if we need to include the memories in our loop. Okay. That does appear to be the case. We need to have the memories kept in the loop. Maybe not the fastest program, but it works. And hello there, Ren Me Now, and welcome. Uh-oh. So I guess something we should do too is check if they get stuck and, you know, if they can't find anything to pick up. If memory is equal to nothing, I'll go ahead and have them step to the right. I think I have this in the wrong spot. If memory is nothing, this should be really in the elf statement group, if else statement group. So if my memory is nothing, I can't do any steps though. We need to move the people out of the way of the shredder after they go shred it. It looked satisfying at least. Yeah. I accidentally looped this out. I think I might need to undo this a little bit, maybe restart. Essentially what I was trying to do is just have the person shred themselves if they can't find anything. Let's restart. So, our memories. First, we have our memory 1, nearest data cube, and memory number 2, the shredder. So, first thing we're going to do is we pick up memory 1. And then we will give that to memory 2. And then they will go back up, but now what we really need to do is first check. Okay, I'm trying to think here. What we want to do is just give themselves to the shredder. If my item is nothing, or do we want to have if my memory 1 is nothing, then they will give themselves to the shredder? Rather than trying to maneuver these pieces around, otherwise just jump to the top. Oh, everybody's stuck. I believe because we're outside of our memories. The order with the memories kind of throws things off, it feels like a little bit. Can you forcefully take a cube from someone to the left of you? No, because we don't have a take from command. So we cannot do any taking of other people. Not an option, no take from. And hello there, Khan, and welcome. So we pick up our first memory. Memory 2. Give to memory 2. I wonder if we could pick up from someone to the left of us. Like if they're holding something, if we try to pick up, does it take it from them? Like you're commenting about the taking a cube from someone to the left of you. Does pickup function that way? I'm not sure that it does. However, instead we could have it be the case that we have the person that's not holding anything pick up they say they're at the shredder and they're like, oh, I can't remember. Just pick up who's left of you and then throw them in the shredder. We only want this to be the case if they can't think about something. It seems like you want them to go down and around when there's nothing to pick up. Could check if they're at the shredder, and if they aren't, give it to the right. That might work as well, yeah. Can you have an if statement that says there's no memory left? That's what I'm thinking. Oh, have them jump into the shredder if they have no memory? It's also what I'm trying to think. Part of what has been throwing me off here in writing this is making sure that the memories end up at the right spot. I'm going to just re-loop this real quick so we can kind of watch it. Oh, that worked. Guess what? That also was, that fit the optional size challenge. Didn't get it fast, but it worked. Well, and we couldn't do, can you set if no memory move left? Then they'll swap positions. We couldn't do that either, because we didn't have the step command. So that shredding memory in particular We were a little bit restricted by the fact that we didn't have some commands available. And yeah, so they just end up throwing themselves into the shredder at the end. Yahoo! Alright, next is fitness program. Are you ready to get some
You make me
exercise,
wonder,
chat?
How does she stay so fresh and flirty?
Or hey, that handsome guy in the tie, is he a pneumatic excavator? Because he's pumped.
Let's all take a break from flexing our brains and work on flexing our bodies.
Today we are going to learn aerobic exercise with Alice, Betty, and Carol.
And Pablo.
Man, look at them go. Wow. Amazing. Wow, 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 wow. Alright, chat, we got our fitness in. Very cool. Where did they go with Pablo? Don't worry about it. We're in neural pathways now. Stay focused on work, okay? Teehee?
Yes, let's all take a moment to reflect.
Do you feel that tingling?
Yes, that's the feeling of memories forming in your little heads.
So let's just make sure we really blaze a path through our little neurons.
Come get these data cubes over here. There's exactly one for each of you. How nice. And shred them. What? How can you find your way through this complicated maze? Oh, don't worry. Your workers were figured out on their own.
Just watch and see. So we have shred all the data cubes. The solution here is identical to the solution in the previous room. Notice how your workers will automatically find their way to something they've stored in their memory, even through a complicated maze, and this is the future. If it's the previous room that we just did, if we then set memory 1 to be the nearest data cube, and our memory 2 as the nearest shredder? Does that mean we can just have it set to pick up memory 1 and then give to memory 2? Yeah. And then give them, or I thought they were going to give themselves to the shredder too there for a moment. There we go, that is it. So it's like on that last solution, even though technically they can't see the shredder, or the data cube, so how the fuck do they actually remember that? Doesn't matter, they just know. So, interesting. Biometric access. Year 29.
Yes, congratulations. You have each been assigned your own personal shredder. You will find it directly below you. I know they all look the same, but please remember very carefully which one is yours. Your new nearest command should help with that. Using someone else's shredder would be impolite, and also fatal. With that helpful information in mind, please enjoy shredding all the data cubes.
Each worker has been assigned their own personal shredder, which only they may use to shred all the data cubes. Which means when we do the memory of the nearest shredder, that should automatically make it be the one that's below them, because that's going to be the nearest one for all of them. So if they remember what the nearest shredder is, we'll then set memory 2 as the nearest data cube. guess we'll pick up the memory 1, then give to memory 2, and loop that? And see what happens exactly? Oh. Oops. I have that backwards. Because that's how how I had it ordered previously. So everybody's gonna pick up. Oh! I guess they stop remembering where the nearest data cube is then, huh? They don't quite get it. Probably what ends up happening here is that they're remembering the data cube that somebody else. You need the variables in the loop. Perhaps that is the case. I wonder if maybe it's even a 2-part piece if I did something like this. I'm not sure. Otherwise, if the data cube, or if they're going to replace the memory of the shredder. Nah, that works. Okay. I think some of them were starting to throw themselves into the shredder there at the end, but that doesn't matter. We're fine. These challenges can be very difficult in many cases. It's not possible to optimize both simultaneously with one solution. Well, if you say so. We move to the next to fill the floor. Oh, I got an email. Let's see. Just going to print it out here so I can read it. Sending it to that printer over there. Workers, I need you. So, please fill the floor with pages from that printer. Don't worry, I'm sure if you work hard and impress the right people, you'll get an email one day too. No, we won't. Note how there aren't any computers out here. We can't get any emails, or at least we can't read any emails if we don't have any printers, so we'll never know. Tip for management. You can now select multiple directions inside your step command. Your worker will randomly select one of them to step towards. Interesting. So if we just say, walk in a direction, doesn't really matter which. They'll just go from it, I guess. Go to it. So what we're going to want to do, if we have nothing, we'll stick the memory on the outside here, actually. So memory 1 will be the nearest printer. So then what we're going to do, if they're not holding anything, we want to take from the printer. And then after we take from the printer, if my item is nothing, take from printer. They will then exit out. So if they do have something, then we want them to walk. Then we want to check if there is nothing on the ground. Well, right now, since they have, if my item is nothing, take from printer. And if there is nothing on the ground, drop what you're holding. So this drop on ground happens after take from. So we'll always have something in our hand at this point. So if there's nothing on the ground, we drop. And then they would exit out. If there is something on the ground, so if there's an else, we want to step somewhere. And then they would exit out afterwards. Let me remove that. So right now the step process is, if I don't have anything, grab. drop, if nothing, otherwise take a step. So in the case they do have something, they're going to be in this loop already. So she'll grab, she sets it down. I think we have stuck this in our else here. I want that outside of my else. They're also getting a little bit delayed right here because they're all trying to take, so they kind of get stuck in the row. I guess what's happening now is after they step, they kind of get stuck up here at the top. We really want to have them keep moving. So else, just walk somewhere. So then they're just walking around everywhere. You have some people, we have some people getting stuck up at the top, some people getting stuck at the step. People, you need a loop that goes from step to if nothing drop. Step 2 if nothing drops. If there's nothing, then drop, else step. Yeah, because then they'll step and then they'd exit out and jump back up at the top and they're still holding a thing. So, yeah, we'd want them to step and then drop. Yes, 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 yes. We're getting moved around here. I guess we'll also put a drop after the step, this other step. Alright, it looks like there we go. We just were missing a couple of the drop commands. In this fashion, I almost remember, just because I'm curious real quick. We can check the nearest data cube, worker, shredder, printer, and wall. But we can't remember anything regarding the floor. We might be able to say, remember where the nearest data cube was and maybe have them walk towards it or something, but that might cause problems if somebody's holding something. I guess then we just have to let this play out until they put a data cube everywhere. They just have to be a little bit patient as they attempt to RNG their way down here. Slowly. What would almost even work is if we reformatted the step option so it's a little bit less RNG. To really just have them kind of check, you know, say if the floor is blank or if the floor has something, walk a particular direction. Measure the number of average what took 561 seconds and the target was 170. Would telling them to go to where there isn't a data cube work? Was there a go-to command? I'm peeking in real quick. There's our previous program. So we can drop, pick up, take from step. So I don't think I can explicitly tell them to go to a place that is blank, at least not with the current command set it gives me. So we'll go ahead and just go back. Could have it be take, then step, then check if nothing, else loop the step. Yeah, I could see that as a, you did it, I say move on. I would just wanted to check real quick if a place where nothing, if there was something that existed along those lines, but at that level, at the very least, there doesn't seem to be. So here we go with checkerboard organization.
No more sloppy printing. Yes, I enjoy sophisticated data patterns. I'm going to print out an important document here. Would you please take its pages from the printer and fill the floor with a checkerboard pattern? That should leave some nice tiles unoccupied for browsing my document. I'm not going to step on my data like an animal.
Okay. Fill the floor with a checkerboard pattern. It has already been started for you. I see, so it's saying it started using this data cube. Note from facilities, beware the renovations, watch your steps. So something you also now have to keep in mind is don't have your people walk completely randomly, otherwise they're going to fall into the holes. Me earlier,
I'm starting to understand how this works.
also me now in later levels. Smooth brain. Woo! Yep, there's a lot more you have to start thinking about keeping track of, and we now have a new option with hole. So we're going to... I don't know if remembering the nearest hole will quite work for the purpose. That means they would only remember a singular hole. At the very least, what we do want them to remember is where the printer is at. What we can also do is remember where the nearest... I don't know if remembering where the nearest data cube is really something that we want. Because otherwise they're going to... No, because if the data cube continues to exist right here, it isn't like the shredder where that stops existing. So I think they should always remember this data cube. And that shouldn't change at all. So what we want to remember is the printer and that data cube. Or even if we keep it outside of a loop, for example, and have them say memory 1 becomes the data cube. And then memory 2 becomes printer. And now, should set memory 1 is equal to hole, then have them go to memory 1 to make all the jumps. And to make them all jump, oh. Just have them all jump into the holes. Say goodbye to all of the workers. Oh. Well, let's go ahead and we're going to... I'm gonna kind of keep memory 1 outside of all of the loops, because they should always just remember this data cube in particular. So, we're going to go take from memory 2 the printer. And then really what I want them to do is to go over to this data cube. But all we have options for is step, pick up, drop, take from. Drop will just instantly drop whatever they're holding. Pick up will do a certain spot. Take from is only going to grab something. Well, you know that they only will grab things from the printer from the top, so that's something to keep in mind also. How do we start? How do we start moving them around so that we have them with, they're armed with the data cubes? I'm trying to think here. Or how we place it down on a checkerboard pattern. What would fit the criteria here? Because I can't have them just walk to this and then start placing from there somehow. So we need to check. Can I check multiple directions? No. I was hoping I'd at least be able to do that. If memory 1 is equal to... I guess they can kind of check where it is. If memory 2 is equal to top left, top right, bottom left, or bottom right, then drop. Yeah, if we operate then where the printer location is at, that would work. So even though you are saying you mean memory 1, that technically is also an option, is that we can just work off of where this printer is at too. But we can try going with that. So memory 1, data cube. If it is equal to... You would probably need both. You mean for the printer location? Maybe. We should also probably, maybe we could take a step in a part, since they always go to the top of the printer. We can always have them step away in a particular direction. So they take from printer, they walk to the right, and then we walk them down twice to be on top of that cube. Can't you select multiple directions in one command now? Yes. But as it said before, it's not that they're taking. When you select these multiple directions, they will randomly pick one of those directions. So I was kind of trying to get them to walk to a fixed location. So I'm trying to have them walk fixed direction on top of our data cube right here. So here they are on top of the data cube. And if... I don't know, this feels like it would take a lot of times if there is nothing. We'd then be checking diagonals. If there's nothing down to the left, right, up. This feels weird. This doesn't seem like this is the best way to do it. This seems like it's gonna take a lot. Wonder if you could forcefully make them forget things too. I don't know. I feel like I've hit this point in this puzzle and now my brain's just going to just look at the time and go, you know, I think I'm ready for a break. Maybe that's the trick. The puzzle game mind leaking. I think that's the case. I'm gonna take a step back here. Checkerboard organization. I'm probably just overthinking you. Do you have to fill every white tile with a piece of data? It's really... Technically that would be the case. We're making a checkerboard pattern, so we wanted it to be checkerboarded. Like chess, checkers. Overthink, what's that? Me overthinking, perhaps, teehee? Could check if there's a block on a spot, then move in a random direction. The problem is that we need to do kind of two cases of one, since we need to place it down in a checkerboard pattern, we have to also make sure that they're not placing it somewhere that ruins the checkerboard. And since there's an initial data cube on the ground, we have to start from there or otherwise pick that up first. I guess, yeah, we can just move diagonally the entire time as well. We'll take one more step in real quick. Walk back through this. I'll do one more thing. Alright. Place, move, move, check, place, move, move. I guess by extension I do have them walking away from the printer manually. So, we start with so this is where we are starting, chat. We have our first memory data cube, second memory printer. That way we can grab from printer. So, we start with taking from the printer. But now that we have taken from the printer, we now need to move ourselves. Which could be the case that we have, since when we grab from the printer, that places us where we don't want to be. If we have them either move left, up, or right, then it would then be fine to drop. I know for a fact if you have a command that checks each diagonal for a cube and it's true, they'll place the cube. I don't know how to get them to move efficiently though. Oh yeah, so what we need to do is just, when we have them randomly walk, step around, we simply just don't have them walk in vertical or horizontal directions. The initial move after taking, check, place or move, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. Alright, so if I just remove what we have started with here, what we really want to do, we take from memory 2, and then they will step. Either left, up, or right, it doesn't really matter. We just need them to be away from the printer and on one of the white gridded tiles, because by extension, note the location of the holes. They're all on the black grid tile. And if we simply have our people move so that they're not going to be on black grid, then they will never walk on those holes if we only have them walk diagonal. If where they are has a data cube, move diagonal, then check if empty, otherwise move in another diagonal, place with nothing on ground. Exactly. Can you set multiple if check spots? Technically yes, but that means when we're doing, say, the check, so if we're in the if function, we'd have to check each direction. We can't do if any of these directions. We can't do that. So, we start and we take from printer, and we walk onto one of the white diagonal spaces. So then we will check. If there is nothing on the ground, we drop. And then we would want to loop back up to the top. I don't know if we're even going to really need to remember the placement of this data cube, honestly. But we're going to go back up to the top, take from memory cube, step. So if there is something on the ground, we want to step randomly in a diagonal. And then we will loop from there for checking if there's anything on the ground. So our loop currently... Here, let me just turn myself to the left. My mind is deteriorating from need of sleep, so I sleep. Hope you have a great day. I hope you do too, Mimi. Thanks for hanging around and providing puzzle teamwork solutions. Coding is fun and totally doesn't melt my brain looking at a wall of nested if statements. That's why they give you this command, like the notes option. But honestly, what would be nice is if the note, rather than kind of hanging out at the top, almost kind of hung out next to it, or I had the option of placing it next to commands. That'd help a lot, because technically when you're programming in, I'm not sure necessarily every programming language, but at least in some, you're able to make the notes after steps like that. I don't know if it's super convenient with this block type. Anyway, so here we are, up at the top. They remember the data cube, they remember the printer. They take from printer, they step onto a white square. Then, they will drop their cube if there is nothing. And then they will go back up to the top to grab a new one. However, if there is something, then they will take a random diagonal step. And then they will go back and check if that ground is nothing. And so if they do drop, they go back to the top. I think you can add a double slash to make notes in certain languages. I believe that is the case too, yes. All the old people are gonna die, they're all on the black squares. No, they're going to be fine. Because what happens is, since we have them taking from the printer, when they walk over to the printer and grab something, they always grab from the top of the printer. So after they grab from the top of the printer, they will walk onto one of the white square spaces, and they will be fine. See, they just kind of hang out there. However, they might all get stuck together here. Or maybe not. Okay, come on, guys. Now you just need to make... There we go. Excellent. We got it. We solved it. Look at that. We had... That ruined our average, though, right here. Do you see that? They did pretty good most of the time. They had some terrible RNG, and then they did okay. We continue. And now I'm, like, on this double spot of, That, I think that was really the main case that was... Hang on. There we go. Sorry, I accidentally unplugged my headphones there. I just had my foot move in a particular fashion that kind of tugged at the cord and it, kind of unplugged it a little bit from the computer, thus killing the audio. But it's fine. It's fine, Chad. Everything's good. After getting the solution to that, it was like for a moment of, oh man, I just can't think about this. I think what was throwing it off mainly is the thought process of moving in those horizontal and vertical motions. You don't have to do that. Diagonal's an option. Only walk diagonal and it's a non-issue. Especially with, say, those holes that were all on particular color tiles. And as you go up to the top, man, like, look at how much is binary counter, for example. Defrag disordered. I start sweating nervously. And Lobo! Thank you for resubscribing for 10 months. Very appreciated. Just wait until you unlock interdimensional movement. I start sweating, considering the programming conflicts that would bring. However, we are running overtime now, and since we did, I'm so conflicted because I do like playing this. I like thinking through these logic steps, but we did get the last one. We are a little bit past the time already. So let's just nicely wrap up where we're at. Because certainly, we're not going to complete all of this game in a single stream. And we get the idea of how the game is going to go. So I think we'll just go ahead, put the nice little bow on top of it, and call it a day, huh? So, chat, instead consider this. Tomorrow is going to be another stream, and we can just continue our good happy times tomorrow with Rock of Ages. And with the emote ideas in mind too. That's right, you got the channel points met for that, so we'll go ahead and start next stream with making that emote. And then tomorrow, you don't have to have big brain for puzzling like today. All we're doing is roll rock downhill, smash structure. Like a good old caveman, right? From logic to history. Are we in school this weekend? I start sweating. No. I have every other Saturday off. See y'all in a couple weeks. Well, then yeah, the next time you have work off, Slug Nugs, we'll see you then. And everybody else, too, and really you too, thank you everybody for coming on by to watch. Thank you for those who have followed. Thank you for those who subscribed. Really, it's just lawball. Thank you for resubscribing, which means you also get your date reset because you already had a little figure written down. So all we gotta do is add you in to make sure you don't get kicked. Really, I think what I'm going to do is just say that everybody has no removal time currently because you're all in jail, essentially. You're all hanging out. You're not in the house yet. We haven't built the house yet. So really, when your initial time resubscribing will just put you on the list of subscribers. And then I will start the initial date when I actually get the house built to start grouping you all into. Now, chat, we've come to the end of the stream. There's not a lot of people streaming right now, so there's not really a lot of raid options. However, chat, if you recall, what was it? Last weekend was the chat's choice, and we played Project Zomboid. Ambig right now, Ambiguous Amphibian. He's streaming Project Zomboid. Honestly, if he wasn't, I would probably just end stream here. And you'd be free to go wherever you want. And making sure I spelled his name right. But since he's playing that, I love Project Zomboid, and he's probably doing a challenge thing of some kind, because he tends to do that for the Zomboid things. So, chat, I hope everybody... he also, it appears, has follower or subscriber only chat turned on. So maybe we'll just go ahead and instead, if you want to go watch him, go wild. Otherwise, you'd be stuck doing nothing. And so we'll just chat. I hope everybody has a lovely day, lovely night. Feel free, be in the void, blow wherever you want to here on the Twitch. Bye.